Well, let's see if I can find where I am. I'm hiding behind a picture. I'm not quite sure why. Give me a minute while I figure it out. There we go. Found it. Alrighty. Good morning to those of you in the Mountain and Pacific time, and good afternoon to just about everyone else. Glad to see you. I have kind of an idea, and I decided I would throw it out here for you guys to see. Um, Thank you, DJ, for showing up and being here with me. Uh, I hope it is interesting, just like you said. Basically, what it is that there's a lot of people out there who either live too far from an org or a place to protest or unable for whatever reason. So I got to thinking back in the, I want to say, 90s, whenever the Iraq war started and the hostages were taken in Iraq. Um, Here in the United States, a lot of us put yellow ribbons around the old oak tree, just like the song that Tony Orlando and Dawn did. The tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. I know I can't sing worth a darn. But anyway, and I thought, well, this is a way that people who don't have the ability or too far from an org could protest and show their solidarity and their support to the Never Ends. I mean, we can do letters and we can contact our soon to be elected congressman, and in the rest of the world, they don't have that going on. So, they can do letters and they can support those that are out there. But how do we support at home? How do we, aside from watching these streams, which is a huge support, don't get me wrong, but how can we do something? So my thought here was to use that song and change it just a little bit, because obviously we want Goldenrod, right? So thank you for that. Yeah, Sparrow Cheryl gave me that when we were in Austin during Pearl Fest. So really, really neat. All you got to do is pretty much ask her. She'll probably send you one, DJ. But she does these. She carries them around with her when she goes and protests, and she hands them out to people. Anyway, so what I thought those people who have those issues could do was to take a goldenrod ribbon, go to your craft store or your nearby fabric store, and tie it around a tree in your front yard, and show the world that you support the Never Ends and the survivors and those that are still stuck in that institution. It's simple and it's an impactful way to show your support. I remember I was younger when all of this happened the first time, and it's happened here in the States quite a few times. So, and now they do different color ribbons for different color things, or different causes. So that's kind of why I went with Goldenrod. And they tie them around the tree, and then people coming by ask, well, why do you have that ribbon around your tree? And you can tell them the story and spread the word of what's going on in the world. It's just a really simple way of showing your support. And it doesn't take a whole lot. I mean, a couple of dollars for some ribbon. Go outside. Hopefully it's not raining, and just wrap it around the tree. And I mentioned this during one of Liz Ferris's lives. I want to say last week, and we talked a little bit about it, Dr. Heather and all of that, and we visited a little bit about it. And Liz really liked the idea, and what she said was to tie that yellow ribbon around the tree and then send her and Natalie a picture of it. So let's fill up those inboxes of Liz Ferris and Natalie and let them show the world that we are all in support of the protesters, of the Neverends, of the Gems, and of those that are still in Scientology. See if we can get this to be a worldwide movement. Let people know what's going on and why you are so passionate about what's happening. Tell them your story if you've been in. Tell them the stories you've heard if you're never in. Let them know about the SPTV Foundation. Let them know about SPTV in general. So I would really like to see yellow ribbons pasted all over the internet. Put it on your Facebook page. Put it in your Instagram. Let's get a movement going with this goldenrod ribbon around the tree. DJ, I'm going to send you a link in Discord if you want to join me. Let me get there. DJ. There you go, DJ. It's sent. I'm kind of following Aaron's lead. Aaron said some of us little channels, of which I am one, that we need to do our own streams. We can invite people on, but do our own stream. So DJ, if you want to do something after this, just let me know and I'll let you host it. And everybody who's here, don't be afraid to say hi. I know I can be spicy sometimes. Casey's decided to join us. I know it can be spicy sometimes, but for the most part, I'm pretty nice. You know, like I said, we have some great people here that really, really want to join in and want to be part of this movement and want to be able to do something. But, you know, I see it time and time again in these chats. I live too far. I am mobility challenged. I am, you know, whatever reason that they can't, you know, a lot of them are too far, that they can't go and protest like they would like. Well, you know, let's do a homegrown protest. Very, very simple and easy to do, you know. And yeah, Sabbath is wandering around behind me too, so ignore the dog in the shirt. But anyway, I feel like there's a way. I have trouble protesting. I live in Austin. I could go and be with Pearl Snappy, and I have. I went to Pearl Fest, obviously. But the reality of it is I don't have the ability to do it very often. It is something I do on occasion, but, you know, I'm a little bit shy of willing to do it by myself. So if nobody's there, I kind of get a little bit concerned. And if other people are there, yeah, I'll get out and do it. But again, I don't drive, or I shouldn't. And I don't live downtown. I don't go there but once in a blue moon. I think the last time I went downtown was for Pearl Fest. DJ, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. You cut the top of your head off, so you might want to reposition your camera. But, you know, I just don't have the ability to easily protest. So what I've done, you ready? All righty, here we go. Yeah, I'm going to DJ Nico. DJ, go ahead and mute the actual YouTube channel so we don't get the echo. Yeah, I'm going to DJ Nico.
So, better now?
Mute the actual YouTube channel. I don't know. I still hear it in the background.
Just double checking a thing here.
All righty.
Better now?
I don't know. I still hear it in the background. Anyway, DJ Nico and I have been talking about doing some collabs, and so we need to anyway, DJ to get
Nico
that
and I
done.
have been talking about doing some collabs, and so we
Double
need
check and see if your
to get that done. Talking about doing
actual
some
YouTube is
collabs,
still up.
and so if you double check and see if you're get that done. Now, no.
Yeah, I think so. Ah,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah,
Got it.
it was that.
So, what do you think of this idea, DJ? Do you think we can get it around the world?
It's worth a shot. I mean, still, it's easy to do. It
Mm-hmm.
carries a meaning, and it's also it doesn't cost people a fortune,
A lot of
and
money. Yeah.
that's
A
kind
lot
of
of money. Yeah. That's kind of the thought that I had, was that it was something pretty simple, and it's something easy for people who don't have access to an org or don't have the ability to protest to do, or too afraid to protest. I mean, some people don't want to get out there and do that because they're concerned. They're worried about what will happen. We've
and
seen what's
also
gone
I
on in
see
LA.
many comments about people not being able to afford it. And I mean, let's face it,
Yeah.
many people are going through hardships.
Yeah.
Most times, people don't realize they offer their time and their attention already. That
Hmm.
is more than money can buy in many cases.
Yes.
So I
Agreed.
mean, that's kind of
Yeah. I mean, it is a very simple thing to do. I wanted something that was not difficult, not expensive, wasn't going to create issues. You weren't going to have to worry about, being arrested like they are getting in LA and Chicago, and God forbid your boob brush against somebody. That's not going to happen when you know,
yeah,
when you
I
do
know,
that.
I know.
So, um, but it's a way other than just sitting here, because a lot of people sit there and think, I'm watching these streams, and yeah, they're saying it's supporting, and it is, but I want to do more. And they don't have the ability, or they're afraid to, or they're too far. I mean, with you, don't you have to travel quite some distance to get to the nearest org?
The nearest one for me is 2 hours away, and then again, I can't afford to have a car, and if I have to
Right.
travel, I can't travel. I don't can't afford that. So in a certain way, I'm stuck in this town. Not that I'm complaining about
Hmm.
that. I mean, I have it better than many people anyway. But yeah, I have to work from home, so to speak. So what I
Right.
can do on distance, I will do.
Right. So, and it, do you think that it will cause people to wonder and ask why you have that ribbon around your tree?
Yep.
You don't think
Either
anybody will ask?
either they care or they don't.
They
But
don't.
still, it's up to them. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Agreed.
it
Agreed.
seemed like if it's like it's the same thing when they started with this little ribbon. I mean, we could create a little ribbon to have carry on the clothes also. I mean, like
Exactly.
as the Cancer Society did. I mean, why not create one
Mm-hmm.
for SPTV Society?
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. That's a good idea. I hadn't thought about actually putting it on our person when we're walking around to the grocery store or whatever.
So I mean, one thing doesn't exclude the other. I mean, that's kind of in my here in Sweden we have something called the 1st of May flowers. That's an
Mm-hmm.
old foundation that collects money for children who has less fortunate
Right.
uh,
Right.
parents and stuff. So they can also get. So there's like they've been to colonies and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
each year at the 1st of May, there's a new combination of a little plastic flower that people
Right.
can pin on the sleeve of the lapel or whatever, and there's some
Right.
different versions. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that way you can very easily. I mean, we can't all afford these merch stuff that we would love to have.
Right. Well,
So if we start
yes.
on a small scale, we still can get good spread of it.
Yes. Yes. You know, something as simple as 2 inches of ribbon that you twist and pin to your lapel or whatever, that that is another way of sending out your support,
Yeah,
sending out your your way of protesting, you
yeah.
know,
It's like
even if you can't go.
those poppies on Remembrance Day. Sorry, my
Right,
English.
right.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. They do the poppies on the lapels for it's England, isn't it? It's
yeah,
for Remembrance Day in England. And isn't
yeah.
that sort of like Memorial Day here in the States? It's for the veterans, is that right?
Most probably, I'm not that versed with everything
R-
about the American
right.
culture, but still, the idea is there. And I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have put a very good idea on the table. So just let's kind of
Yeah.
like in the bakery, you put
Um
the dough on the table, and then you have to work it a little bit before you can put it in the oven.
Right, right. And I'm hoping that, like I said, Liz liked the idea, and I'm hoping that some other people will pick up on it. And definitely, if Natalie starts showing pictures of people's yellow rib or goldenrod ribbons around the trees, and it will pick up steam that way too.
Of course.
Um, but it's just such a simple thing to do. Um, that doesn't cost any money. And here in the States, I'll be honest, it means quite a bit. Um, Anytime we have a conflict overseas, a lot of people put these yellow ribbons around their trees because they're praying for their loved ones to come home from combat.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if in Europe they have the same type of thing. So it may
Mm,
be a little bit, I don't know. Do they? Does do they in Europe do the
I
yellow
haven't
ribbon
really
thing
thought
for
about it, but
combat?
then again, I live in a country that hasn't been affected for many
Right.
years, thankfully. But I think
Thankfully.
still the principle is there. I mean,
Mhm.
just to show you care, and I mean, I
Mhm.
can I can express enough gratitude about how much the Americans have sacrificed themselves for the rest of us
Mhm.
during all
Yeah.
these years, and that's
Yeah.
also something that needs a mention. So,
Mm.
in one way, I feel like if we can do something to support and help, so in one way, those caught inside these organizations and cults, I mean, we are now mainly focused on one specific.
Right.
But this is also remembrance of everyone caught up in whichever cult they
Every,
are caught up in.
exactly. Exactly. It doesn't have to be. I mean, the goldenrod has meaning for the Scientology. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a given. But it doesn't necessarily have to mean just Scientology. It can be solidarity against Jehovah's Witness, against FLD, any of these cults that we see in the world these days, and some of them are, not based in the United States; they're based elsewhere. And so, if we move it around the world, then it can have a different meaning for everyone, but still anti-cult as
Let's
a
see if we
as a
can create
silent
the butterfly
protest.
effect, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking a silent protest is literally
Yes.
what we're talking in
And
that.
I mean, if you just carry that symbol or put it
Hmm.
on the tree, if someone starts
Right.
to argue with you about it, then it's on them because you have the
Hmm.
right to express your opinion
Right.
and your
Right.
feelings.
Right. I mean, here in the United States, we call it First Amendment.
Yeah.
Um, you know, in Europe, I'm not sure what they would call that, short of just general protesting. I
In
mean,
Sweden, we call it the freedom of expression. There is
got
some
you.
pretty interesting laws about that.
Yes. Um, it's like part of like was it George Massey? Literally no one.
Yes.
Um, he has the thought of going and protesting Child USA, which is, I think, an amazing idea. But he's doing a silent protest. You know, Scientology and some of these other quote unquote religions, right? That are these cults that are religions. And as far as I know, the only, well, we talk about the Mormons and we talk about Jehovah's Witness that probably have the 501c3 religious exemptions. But you could, because what the tactic Scientology is using right now is the interruption of religious services. You could, during their posted times, because they do post them, do a silent protest, not saying a word, but you can hold your sign or you can wear like a sandwich board. And my thought process is I would take it one step further and put tape over my mouth, so basically representing the people who are still in Scientology who are forced to remain silent about the abuses.
It's a little bit like these women wearing this caution tape around their chests to support
Mm-hmm.
Lance Drew. I mean,
Yes,
that's also
exactly.
something.
Yes, exactly. It's the same basic idea, but they can't very well hit you with disturbing religious services if you aren't saying anything.
Yeah, you
You
got a
know.
point there. And I
So
think George will do a magnificent thing because that
yes,
letter he sent, that
was amazing.
it's a masterpiece. I can say
It
anything else
is.
about it.
Yeah, it is an amazing piece of work, and it is eloquent. It is respectful. It is everything it needed to be,
It's
and then some.
factual and it's all about the truth. I mean, if
Yes,
they try to say that there's nothing they can deny in it, and there's nothing they can state doesn't matter in that. So I mean, he has
correct.
made a very thorough research and put down the plain facts. This is the way
Yes,
things are.
yes, yes. It is like I said, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Um, and I would love for him to um, craft a letter to. I think he's in England. He's not in the States, is he?
No
Does he live in the
idea,
States?
but
I think he's in
wherever he
England.
is, he's doing a magnificent work. Also,
Yeah.
not to forget,
Well,
he's
I
a
don't
great
know.
moderator.
Yes, he is. He might be in the States. I mean, if he's going to protest the two things for Child USA, both of those are in the United States. I can't imagine him flying over from England to do that.
Well, the way I see it, the less Osa knows, the better.
Yes,
We can
agreed.
just, all we need to know is he will be there, he will do what he wants to do, and we will
Right,
support him.
right. I would love for him to craft a letter like that for us people here in the United States to send to our Congress people. Um, you
My
know,
idea about
I'm
that
not as
is,
eloquent.
yeah, you are, but don't put yourself down. But what I'm thinking about is, Mona has done some stuff. What
Hmm.
about
Yes, she
combine
has.
George and Mona's creativity
Hmm.
together and make them work
Hmm.
out something?
Hmm.
Because there is also this FBI letter that people can use, not
Right,
get.
right,
So
right.
if that one is used also in this process, I mean, we don't have to just do one prong attacks or
No,
start to defend ourselves. I mean, if we start to gather momentum and start to work on many fronts, that will
right.
make the safe pointing much harder.
Yes, agreed. I think that we should be doing all of these things. There's petitions out there that are being passed around. There
Isn't there one
are,
from Vienna? I think
I
there's one
think,
from Vienna.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, Maryland had one for a while,
yeah.
and then I think Jessica Palmadessa has one. Um,
I'm not sure if Fluffer UK has them all collected, but that would be a good place to like check what which petitions or act or on the
on
table right now.
SPTB space.
Yeah,
SPTB.space. Yeah, that would be a great thing. And maybe what we might want to do is suggest to her to add the petitions to that site.
because she has some sub tabs on it, and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just amazed of how well it works and how much it helps to
Oh,
keep track of
oh, no
all
kidding. No
streamers and
kidding.
protesters.
I mean, Fluffer and Xenu News have
Yeah.
done an amazing job with that. And, I basically trying to figure out when I can go on and do this kind of thing. I use that to kind of see who's on because I really don't want to I certainly don't want to step on the big guys. And I
No,
really don't want to step on other people. So, I kind of look to see, we have the Discord that we have the notification. So I check there. And then we have the sptv.space
yeah,
where then that's the next step. I check there, see maybe if somebody's streaming. I do know that Pup Groomer is currently streaming right now.
I think Miss
But
Kim is also. I mean,
is she?
I try to follow a few, but I'm trying to open a few screens if I can. But then
Hmm.
again, the most important thing is we all work towards the same goal.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
mean,
we need to not be distracted
yeah,
by all the clutter going around on the outside, these little upsets.
yeah,
They too will pass. Here's the thing historically about protesting is that, you know, the ones that I think of really off the top of my head is we're talking the civil rights movement, we're talking the Vietnam War movement, and we're talking the gay rights movement. Um, During all of those protest movements, people were arrested. I mean, it was worse. I mean, people were literally beaten at times, you
even
know,
killed, to be honest.
even killed, yes. And people had disagreements. They broke into factions, but they all fought the same goal. So they were all, while they were factions, they were united against the same goal.
Yeah.
And
And as we have stated before, you can't be everyone's cup of tea. That's impossible.
correct,
And
correct.
and the other thing is also there will always show up people who are at the right place for the wrong reasons.
Hmm.
You can
Yes,
never, that's something you never can exclude. All we can do
yes.
as viewers, we can select who we follow, who we support,
Hmm.
and
Well,
the same is where we go.
yeah, we're talking what, over 200 channels now
Yeah,
in the SPTV community. And I don't care if you stay up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're not going to be able to catch all of the people all the time.
there's no way. There's no
There's
way.
no way. So we all pick and choose who we enjoy to watch, who we agree with. Um, and things may change. You may agree with this person for months and months and months. And then all of a sudden, that person goes off on a tangent that you're like, wait a minute, you know, that's I'm not following this. I
Or
don't get
simply there
this.
can show up some a new tangent you need to follow for a while. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
you can't you you know my favorite expression right now is tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yes.
mean, you have to be able to see the wide picture. I mean, right now we have seen some very heartbreaking losses. A few people we have lost
Yes.
recently,
Mm-hmm.
and those creators need some personal space while we still show them support. But
Mm-hmm.
also then,
Yeah.
as a creator and everything, you also need time off.
Yes.
So that means
Yes.
also it's like Aaron going
Mm-hmm.
away supporting Natalie as example. They will still
Mm-hmm.
do things, but he's there for a purpose to support her. So that
Yes.
will be his name. That means it will affect his own lives.
Mm-hmm.
And those that just demand content, without realizing there's a human behind all this, they are
Yes.
not here for the right reasons. Because
You know.
this is not like some cartoon channel where you just put on some cartoons. We
Right.
have a real reason behind why we are doing this.
Mm-hmm. We are here, or those of us who are here should be here for one reason and one reason only: to stop Scientology.
Yes.
You know, that is the reason. That is the why. Now we have Marilyn as the why. We have Liz as the why. We have Good as the why. We have Pearl Snappy as the why. But the main why, the real why, is ending Scientology. And I think people need to get back to that idea.
Yeah, I consider myself as a never in more like a zero gen because I intend to never be a Scientologist, and I want to create more zero gens, people that never will be affected by the Scientology. So that's why I call
Yes.
myself more a zero gen, because I
Mm-hmm.
want to support those first, second, and third gen victims of this cult, because there is no other word for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to support those that have been in and those that are getting out, but I
Yeah,
also want to keep people from getting in. Again, you're zero gen.
yeah.
Um, I'm a never in. I call myself an almost in because I
Well,
came very
I'm
close.
also almost in certain ways, but that's the thing. As long as we don't get that digit in front of that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Knowing what I know now, I would definitely be a never in, and which I am. But how close I came. I mean, a phone call away from being in that institution is almost scary in some ways now that I know what I know.
well, it's like when you're almost falling asleep driving and suddenly just wake up just before you hit the guardrail and realize,
Hmm.
what was I doing?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Or you cross over the center line, you know, and you're like, yeah.
Or you step out on the street and there's come this silent car you don't hear, and you just go, that's
Yeah,
shock.
exactly.
It's a
I
shock
mean,
treatment.
it is. Although it's not, you don't get that flutter in your heart when something like that happens, but it's the same basic idea. It is the case of how close, my God, how close did I come to doing
And
that?
also there's dodging the bullet.
Yes, exactly. That's what I dodged a major bullet
Yeah,
just because you know, I didn't have any money at the time. That is the reason. The only reason I wasn't part of it. And in learning how Scientology works, I could have made that phone call with no money and I'd have been in the Sea Org,
yeah.
you know?
And they would have used to
I mean,
massively, because you're a creative person. So I mean, they could
yeah.
have much use of you, and I mean, they have
And
made lots of money out of you.
right, and I was 16, so that is the time that they really want to grab you because you're still moldable. Your brain isn't mature yet.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere between 21 and 27 before they say that the brain is kind of set in the mold.
Right.
That's why
So it
religions and cults want to affect as young as
yeah.
possible, because
Yes.
the, then they can
Yes.
kind of steer them.
Mold the mind.
Yeah,
Mold the mind. And it's us talking about, as Neverins, us talking about, what we have learned about this. Um is nothing compared to those who lived it. And thank God for those who lived it and have stepped out and said things like people like Liz Ferris, Liz Gale, Serge Delmar, Miriam, Aaron, all of these people who lived that life. If they had not stepped out and said something and come online and been brave enough to tell their stories,
yeah.
none
We
of
have
us would
very
know any
recent
of
like
this.
Reese. I mean, she's been out hardly a
Yeah,
year.
Reese.
As example, we have
Yes.
Sterling, and
Mm-hmm.
once
Jenna.
again, there's so many. Jenna, we have so
Yeah.
many we can't count them all. We wish.
Yeah.
Same as
So,
like Miriam in Australia right
mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
recovering from in her
Yeah.
way. I mean, to me, it
If they
feels like
had
it's like
go
peeling
ahead.
an onion, a very, very
Mm-hmm.
big onion, and each layer makes you cry, because the more you find, the more you realize there's so much more to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and had they never stepped out and told their stories, none of us would know about this. None of us. We'd be merrily going around on our lives, without the knowledge of what this religion does to people.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to create those blinders.
Yes. I
But I
mean,
mean, also, too many people are selfish in the sense that they always want some kind of exchange in what they do. So many times people think, well, why do you do that? What's in it for you? And to me, it's always, why not?
yeah, why not? Why not? So, for those of you who may be joining us here a little late, lurking in the background, the Goldenrod Ribbon Project is an idea that I had to place a goldenrod ribbon around a tree in your front yard if you are unable to protest at the orgs, or if you do protest, you can still do it. It will be something at home. And DJ here had a great idea about putting a goldenrod ribbon on your lapel. And the whole idea is to encourage people to ask why. Ask questions. Why are you wearing that ribbon? What's it mean? Because, when these ribbons first come out and nobody knows what they mean, you kind of wonder, and then you start seeing it online, and then you start you ask. I remember when the pink ribbons first came out for breast cancer awareness. I didn't know what that meant.
Then came the blue ribbons.
Blue
I mean,
ribbon.
there is a
Yeah.
plethora of ribbons right now. So why not add one that
One
has
more.
meaning for us? And I
Exactly.
mean, I have
Exactly.
to go in a few, but I just wanted
I
to
do too.
thanks
Well,
for
Aaron,
talk.
yeah, Aaron's going online, so I don't know when. It just popped up on my notifications, and Aaron, he just kind of pops up and is ready to go. It says he's been live for 2 minutes and he's talking. It looks like he's
Well,
talking to Streets.
well, I'll bow
So
out and thank you for having me. And we have
yeah,
more projects to work on, right?
yes, we do. And Aaron, I don't know if you saw Aaron talk about these small channels and how to do streams, because
Yeah,
when they're doing the big panels and everybody's streaming the same thing, they're getting dinged for content. The
yeah.
smaller
So that's
channels
why
are.
I let you run this on yours
Yeah,
because
right,
I want to do my stuff. You do your stuff, and when we do together, we will see on whose which
right.
footage. The most
Yeah,
important is the mission.
right, exactly. So, whenever you're ready, you let me know, and I will be there for you on yours, if you'd
Yeah,
like,
sure.
and let you host it, and we'll do it for there. Again, people, um, those of you who are here, thank you for watching. We're going to end this because Aaron's on now, and we don't want to interrupt him too much. But
One reminder first:
yes, go ahead.
look at your subscription. So you're subscribed to Oh Hell No and liked because she needs that to make sure she's
Yes,
growing.
yes. Same with DJ Nico. He is in the process of starting his channel now. He has, I think, one test video up. Is that right, or have you done another since then?
I have
Because I haven't
three
seen it pop up.
three test runs up, but one
Three
is
test runs.
about 1 hour, so it's more like to get the hang of it. But anyway,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So subscribe to DJ Nico. Hit the little bell notification so you know whenever he goes on. Um, and make sure you get some watches in. We'll put together some playlists as we get a few more videos for you guys to help us with watch hours. But remember, keep your eye on the prize. The prize is ending Scientology forever, so no one else has to live through what those who have survived Scientology lived
and
through.
always, first of all, stay safe and make sure
Yes.
you never do anything alone if you feel even the slightest risks.
Yes. So, if you go out there and protest and you're concerned about the area, a lot of these orgs are not in the best parts of town.
No.
So, make sure you have someone with you, even if they're not streaming, that is watching you, so
And
that,
also, it doesn't hurt to know the local law or the law of the
yes.
land or the state, wherever you are, because
Hmm.
it's like Scientology up north in Denmark. They are not allowed to chalk on the street,
Right.
stuff like that. So
So,
there will
yes.
be you have to adapt uh, depending on where
to
you
your
are.
area.
Yeah,
Yeah, to your area.
but
You
stay
know,
legal. That's the most important thing.
and don't just look at the state statutes and the country statutes. Look at the local ordinances before you go out. Be prepared. Know what you're doing. And so if you're confronted by law enforcement or whatever, that you can look at them and say, no, I know that this is my right to do this. I'm
Yeah,
not doing these things. I'm doing what is my right. And make sure that you follow those laws, because you don't want to give them any reason to stop you.
and also there's no reason to start to argue and fight. You have the
Correct.
right to convey this is the facts. Then you can never tell who you meet.
Hmm.
But but this is a, like we say, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon.
It is, and it's going to be a long one. I mean, this is
Yeah.
an Olympic marathon. So, be careful out there. If you can't do it, again, do the goldenrod ribbons around your tree, wear them on your lapel. However you feel best to do that kind of thing, please do it, and send those pictures to Natalie at Life After Occult, or is it Life After Scientology? Which one is? I can't remember the Scientology. Life After Occult. I had to go
Yeah.
look. And send it to Liz Ferris at
Say Bob
Pokemon and
Ferris
Cults. Yeah, say Bob Ferris.
at
Um,
gmail.com. I think it is.
exactly. Say
Yeah.
Bob Ferris at gmail.com. Send those pictures to them and show them your support. And I guarantee you that they will make a point of getting it up there and letting people know that you support them and you support this cause. And let's forget about all these little distractions on the sides.
Yeah.
Let's get back to business. Let's keep our eye on the ball.
Let's stay out of the sandbox. I mean, this is like a golf game. You don't earn anything in the bunkers.
That's right. That's right. Or the ponds, for that matter.
Yeah. Even worse, when there are ducks in
Mm.
the pond just quacking.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if you're playing golf and you put your ball in the pond, you've lost the ball. Let's not
Yeah.
lose that ball. Let's not throw our balls in the pond.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
if you end
let's
up in the bunker, that means a lot of fighting before you get out of there.
correct. So again, let's just forget about all the Stephanie Hutchinsons and the whatever's going on with the mods. With Ellie, I don't know. I've stayed out of
Actually,
it, and I'm staying out
it's
of that.
hard to call it a mod war, as one stated, when
No,
it's about
it's
one or two
one.
persons that has been
Yes,
messing up
yes,
and ruining it for others.
yes.
I mean, that's
It's
more like a
it's
bad
not
apple
a
in the
it's not a
box.
right. It's not a war. I
No.
mean, I now mod for 2 channels.
Yeah.
Um, I'm totally out of the loop. I don't know what it's about, and I've never been contacted by this Ellie person. I don't know who she is,
Well,
and
well, I hope she stays away from us. I mean, we
yeah.
don't need her.
Well, I mean, she comes to me and starts stuff, and I'm be like, I'm going to use a phrase that Reese uses: "F off into the forever."
Yeah.
You know,
Or like take a long walk on a short pier, stuff like that.
exactly. So there's no reason. The couple of things I want to say before we go: sending our love to Nat for the loss of my Tony.
Yes.
She is in our hearts, thoughts, and prayers. We miss you, Doug. Doug would
Of
love,
course we do. We think about
unfortunately,
KK. We think about, there was some more
KK,
names. We should have almost a little
a
memory
memorial
page
page.
for, but we'll get
Yeah.
there.
KK, a great person, one of the great protesters. There was another one, Doug Kramer, we miss him. He would love all the protests going on.
Oh,
He would
yes.
just absolutely love it. There's a whole set of people that we have lost recently, and our thoughts and prayers go out to them. And Reese is stepping out on a whole new adventure, and
Yes.
she
And
just
I
moved to
give kudos to Tommy for all the support and help he's
oh
showing.
yes,
That's what a true friend does.
Yes, and Tommy for being there for her. So she again is in our thoughts and prayers that she steps out and she just has a wonderful life now that she's out of that situation she was in. And
That-
I'm sure Huxley will enjoy it as well. So just some mentions before we leave.
yeah, and I have a
And
special message for George, of
oh,
course.
yes,
You better make more videos. The women are craving
yes,
those.
George, you have to make more videos. That cannot be a one and done. We
Yeah.
demand more videos from George. So again, check out his YouTube channel. Read the letter. It is eloquent. You will not see another one like it. I don't think anybody can produce anything better. So definitely check out George's letter. And if you have the ability, join him in his protest against Child USA. In both, I believe it's in. I know one's in Pennsylvania, and I think the other one's New Jersey.
More than I know. But anyway, check out the
Yeah,
facts and you'll see what he can do.
exactly. So again, y'all have a blessed day. Tie those goldenrod ribbons around your tree, wear them on your lapel, let people ask and let people know what's going on and why we are so adamant and passionate about this cause.
Let's make sure to keep people zero gen.
Exactly.
Well, that's
Y'all
my
have a
kind of
blessed
my
day.
idea. I hope those
Mm,
second gens and don't mind me saying this way.
yeah, yeah. I don't think they will.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for dropping in, DJ, and
Thank you.
we will do this again.
Yeah.
And everybody who's watching, y'all have a blessed day. Enjoy the rest of the streams, and we will see you on the flip side.